Hello friends, I am Professor Smita Jha from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, and I am here to discuss research methodology, which is one of the very important topics for pursuing research. Well, today's topic is research philosophy under the research methodology. Research philosophy is a fundamental aspect of the research process that shapes how researchers approach their studies and interpret their findings. It encompasses the researcher's views on the nature of reality, that is ontology, the pursuit of knowledge, that is epistemology, and the role of values in research, that is axiology. Understanding research philosophy is crucial for developing a coherent research design and selecting appropriate research methods. Whether you are engaged in quantitative research, qualitative research, or a mixed methods approach, your research philosophy will guide your decision making throughout the research project. How to justify your methodological choices? Justifying your methodological choices is a critical part of any research project, as it demonstrates the rationale behind how you conducted your study and ensures its credibility. To effectively justify your methodology, you need to clearly explain why you selected particular methods over alternatives, showing that they are the most appropriate for answering your research question. Now, align your methodological choices with your research objectives. Explain how the chosen methods, whether qualitative, quantitative, or mixed, directly support the type of data you need to collect. For instance, if your research aims to understand personal experience, qualitative methods like interviews or focus group would be appropriate. Alternatively, if your focus is on measurable outcome or a statistical relationship, quantitative approaches such as surveys or experiments would be more suitable. Now, provide evidence from existing literature that supports your choices. Cite studies or theoretical framework that have successfully used similar methods in comparable context. This not only reinforces the validity of your approach, but also shows that it builds on established academic practice. Address any limitations or potential biases in your methodology and explain how you plan to mitigate these. Be transparent about any constraints related to sample size, data collection technique, or potential external influences that could skew your findings. Additionally, outline specific steps such as using triangulation, conducting pilot studies, or incorporating control variables to minimize these risks and ensure the validity of your research. This demonstrates that you have critically assessed the strengths and weaknesses of your methods and are prepared to handle challenges that could affect your result. This is the research philosophy design, in the onion model. Onion model, that is, the different layer, that is philosophies, approaches, strategies, choices, time horizon, techniques, and procedure. That is all layer by layer. Writing your research paper methodology, because research paper is the small form of your dissertation. Now, the concept of research onion model to help researchers develop a methodology and construct research design techniques within the field of future study. The characteristic of research onion model is illustrated by its 6 main layers, which serve as a step-by-step guide for researchers on how to write a research methodology. Now, introduce your methods. Introduce the methodological approach used in investigating your research problem. In one of the previous section, your methodological approach can either be quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods. Look for a methodology in research example that you can use as a reference. You have to find out, there are various chapters. In the previous lecture also I have discussed, and you need to find out as per the objective of your research. Now, explain the relevance of your methodological approach to the overall research design. Keep in mind that the connection between your methods and your research problem should be clear. This means that your methodology of research must be appropriate to achieve your paper's objective. to address the research problem you presented. Now, indicate the research instrument you are going to use in collecting your data and explain how you are going to use them. These tools and instruments can be your surveys, questionnaires for interviews, observations. If your methods include archival, research, or analyzing existing data, provide background information for documents, including who the original researcher is, as well as how the data were originally created and gathered. Keep in mind that aside from your methodology in research paper, the identification of the research instrument is equally significant. Explain how you are going to analyze the result of your data gathering process depending on your methodology. Research for ways on how you can best execute your study either by using a statistical analysis or exploring theoretical perspective to support your explanation of observed behavior. Provide background information. When using methods that your readers may be unfamiliar with, make sure to provide background information about these methods. It would also help if you can provide your research methodology, meaning so you can present a clear and comprehensive research context. Sampling procedure are vital components of your methodology. Explain the research behind your sampling procedure. For example, if you are using statistics in your research, indicate why you chose this method as well as your sampling procedure. If you are going to do interviews, describe how are you going to choose the participants and how the interviews will be conducted. Make sure to address possible limitations you may encounter in your research, such as practical limitations that may affect your data gathering process. If there are potential issues you anticipate to encounter in the process, indicate your reason why you still decide to use the methodology despite the risk. What to avoid in writing the methodology section of your research? Avoid including irrelevant details. Keep your methodology section straightforward and thorough. Details that do not contribute to the researcher's understanding of your chosen methods should not be included in your methodology section. Irrelevant information include unnecessary explanations of basic procedures should only be explained if they are unconventional and unfamiliar to the readers. Irrelevant information include unnecessary explanations of basic procedures. Basic procedures should only be explained if they are conventional and unfamiliar to the reader. Do not ignore the problem you might encounter during the data gathering. Instead of turning a blind eye, describe how you handle them. Now, ethical consideration, which is very important. Even in writing a methodology, researcher must adhere to ethical norms to ensure trust, accountability, mutual respect, and fairness. Ethical considerations that researcher must be mindful of, especially during the process of gathering and presenting research data, that is, the rights to privacy of the individuals involved. The nature of participation in the research must be voluntary, and the individual involved must have the right to withdraw partially or completely from the process. All participants must provide their consent first. Maintenance of the confidentiality of the data provided by individuals as well as identifiable participants' anonymity. How participants react to the researcher's method to seeing to collect data. How the participants will be affected by the ways in which data is analyzed and reported. The behavior and objectivity of the researcher. Now, what is academic research? It is a common activity. Research is a common activity in academic institutions all over the world. In the world, research output is bolstered by educational institutions such as Harvard University, Stanford University, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Also called scholarly research, academic research has been defined as research that has the sole purpose of creating a furthering knowledge. Academic research also tends to theoretically focus, and its findings are evaluated through a peer review process and made public through scholarly journals and academic conferences. In many cases, academic research is defined in contrast to professional research, also called applied research. Professional research is carried out to find solutions to practical problems. This research is also commonly organizationally focused. How to select a research topic? Choosing the right research topic is a crucial step in the academic research process. A well-chosen topic can spark interest and lead to a successful research project. Now, there are some critical considerations for selecting an effective research topic. Well, identify your interest. Start by exploring areas that fascinate you. Think about subjects you have enjoyed in your courses or issues you are passionate about. A topic that genuinely interests you will keep you motivated throughout your research. Consider relevance and significance. Now, assess the relevance of your topic to your field of study. Is it addressing a current issue or gap in research? Selecting a topic that contributes to existing knowledge can enhance the impact of your work and attract the attention of reader and researcher alike. Well, conduct a preliminary literature review to understand your area's current state of research. This will help you identify gaps, ongoing debates, and underexplored topics. It can also spark new ideas and refine your research question. Once you have a broad topic in mind, narrow it down to a specific research question. A focused topic will make your research more manageable and provide a clear section. Ask yourself, what specific aspects of this topic do I want to explore? Discuss your topic ideas with peers, mentors, instructors. Their feedback can provide valuable insights and help you refine your question. They may also suggest additional angles to consider or highlight potential challenges. Consider the resources available to you, such as time, funding, and access to data. Ensure that your chosen topic can be realistically researched within these constraints. A feasible topic will save you from unnecessary stress later in the research process. If your research is tied to a specific assignment or project, make sure your topic aligns with the provided guidelines. This alignment will help you stay focused and meet the requirements of your academic institution. However, the formulation of research question is often easier said than done. As such, numerous frameworks like FINER and PICO criteria have been invented to help researchers formulate sound research question. Now, according to this set of criteria, a good research question is: FINE means F for feasible, I for interesting, N for novel, E for ethical, R for relevant. Now, researcher must consider a variety of factors in choosing the best methodology for their study. In most cases, research questions and objectives play a significant role in defining the most appropriate research methodology to use. Now, research philosophy is one of those things that students tend to either gloss over or become utterly confused by when undertaking formal academic research for the first time. And understandably so, it's all rather fluffy and conceptual. However, understanding the philosophical underpinnings of your research is genuinely important, as it directly impacts how you develop your research methodology. So, research philosophy and research paradigm are terms that tend to be used pretty loosely, even interchangeably. Broadly speaking, they both refer to the set of beliefs, assumptions, principles that underlie the way you approach your study, whether that is a dissertation, thesis, or any other sort of academic research projects. For example, one philosophical assumption could be that there is an external reality that exists independent of our perception, an objective reality, whereas an alternative assumption could be that reality is constructed by the observer, subjective reality. Naturally, these assumptions have quite an impact on how you approach your study. The research philosophy and research paradigm also encapsulates the nature of the knowledge that you seek to obtain by undertaking your study. In other words, your philosophy reflects what sort of knowledge and insight you believe you can realistically gain by undertaking your research project. For example, you might expect to find a concrete, absolute type of answer to your research question, or you might anticipate that things will turn out to be more nuanced and less directly calculable and measurable. Different textbooks will present slightly different definitions, with some saying that philosophy is about the researcher themselves while the paradigm is about the approach to the study. Others will use the two terms interchangeably, and others will say that the research philosophy is the top level category and paradigms are the pre-packaged combination of philosophical assumptions and expectations. Importantly, your research philosophy or paradigm form the foundation of your study. More specifically, they will have a direct influence on your research methodology, including your research design, the data collection and analysis techniques you adopt, and of course, how you interpret your result. So, it is important to understand the philosophy that underlies your research to ensure that the rest of your methodological decisions are well aligned. Research philosophy refers to the set of beliefs and assumptions that underpin a researcher's approach to their study. It is a critical component of the research paradigm, influencing every aspect of the research process, for formulating research questions to analyzing data and presenting findings. Research philosophy encompasses three main philosophical dimensions: ontology, the nature of reality; epistemology, how we acquire knowledge; and axiology, the role of value in research. These philosophical considerations inform the researcher's methodological choices and shape the overall research approach. Understanding one's research philosophy is essential for ensuring in research design and for critically evaluating the strengths and limitations of different research methods. Researcher must carefully consider which research philosophy align best and their research questions and objectives, as well as the purpose and significance of the study being conducted. Understanding these key types of research philosophy is crucial for developing a coherent and effective research methodology. Research philosophy deals with the source, nature, and development of knowledge. In simple terms, research philosophy is belief about the ways in which data about a phenomenon should be collected, analyzed, and used. Although the idea of knowledge creation may appear to be profound, you are engaged in knowledge creation as part of completing your dissertation. You will collect secondary and primary data and engage in data analysis to answer the research question, and this answer marks the creation of new knowledge. The choice of a specific research philosophy is impacted by practical implication. There are important philosophical differences between studies that focus on facts and numbers, such as an analysis of the impact of foreign direct investment, of the level of GDP growth, and qualitative study such as analysis of leadership style on employee motivation in organization. With this, I conclude the discussion. Thank you very much. We shall meet in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.